Hi guys! Today I'm going to share a personal experience, one that I've heard closely for many years. And I've not shared this with so many people in my life. Just a few people are aware of the story I'm about to share today. And the reason why I want to share is because there are some crucial lessons that I feel will empower every young woman out there. So this video would resonate more with young people, teenagers, young people, but it could also be beneficial to you as a mother, as a niece, as an aunt. You can, empower every young girl that is around you. And I believe that this video will be useful to empower, to educate, and to inspire someone out there to rise from every trauma that they've ever faced in time past. So stay tuned while I share my personal experience and the lessons that I've learned with you. As you can see from my topic for today, I'm sharing how I nearly got raped at the age of 18. So this incident happened when I was in school. I went to school when I was 17, turning 18. So I turned 18 in school, and I had one goal to be serious with my books and to come out. So I had good friends that were supporting me and were there for me until one beautiful day I studied economics. So we had like a joint, is it an inter, so we had a faculty lecture. So we had a faculty, so I was in faculty of social science. And so there after the lecture I met with one guy who happened to be from my tribe. So it's quite fascinating to find somebody from my tribe, because that was the first time I was meeting somebody from my tribe, from my state, from like we spoke similar language. So I was quite, intrigued. Like he spoke to me in in our local dialect, and I responded. Not that I'm a good native speaker, but at least as in finding someone that you have similar experiences, similar culture with was quite amazing for me. And so I was like fascinated. And then he asked for my number. I gave him my number, and that's how we met. He was a political science student. So I just kept his number saved. And then he told me about our people from my state. We had these ethnic meetings every Tuesday. He told me a lot about things and things I could benefit. Well, eventually benefited from them because I applied for bursary, state bursary during my time, and I enjoyed some benefit from that. So thanks to him for opening my eyes to that aspect that I didn't know before. So so after that we just exchanged our numbers, and we didn't like talk for a while, but we used to talk like maybe once in a while. And then I was a serious student now, so I was going to class, and I didn't have time for um nonsense. I lived a triangular life in school. If you want to know a little bit about how my school life was, I talked about my education story in how I got to first class, how I got into the first class, and I'll put that video for you to watch if you'd like to watch it. So I lived like a triangular life in school. It was church, school, church, house, a little bit of socials. I didn't like do lots of socials. That's one of my regrets. If I had known, I would have been more social. I would have networked more. I talked about this as well in my video, things I think you should do in your 20s or 30s. So I lived a triangular life. So I was really a serious student. So during our 100 level first semester, we're planning for our exams, and everybody was, reading. I was very studious because I had the goal. I wanted to graduate with the first class. I wanted to have good grades. I was very serious. And then I think it was 2 weeks to our exam. There was a news that they had changed the timetable. In short, if there's anything my school was good for, it was always changing timetables. So they changed the timetable, and they're like, okay, fine, now your students will have to start first and all of that. And I'd super like I prepared like for my exam that was very, very ready for the exams. If you know me well, like I'm sure that I shared some of this in my earlier video about how I graduated with first class. I would always study ahead of class, as in ahead of the exam, so that no matter what happens during the exam, I'm well prepared. So I was really well prepared. So when I got the news that they had, you know, postponed our exams to a month later, I was devastated. I was angry. Like, why was I reading? Why was I preparing all this for only to hear that they had cancelled my exam? So I was like, what would I do? And then I remember that, oh, I had this guy's contact. Like, okay, maybe this might be a good time to go and visit. And like the popular saying that the idle man is the devil's workshop. When you don't have something doing, that's when the devil will be giving you suggestions. I'm like, okay, oh, maybe I should go and visit this guy that I met. So maybe we'll get to like connect more and all of that. So I chatted him on Tugo. If you know Tugo those days, before WhatsApp became popular, we had like Tugo. So I chatted him that, are you free? Blah blah blah. And this guy was like in his final year. Like, okay, maybe I could come visit, and so I offered myself to go and visit. So we shall agreed a time and a date, and I went to visit him. He made one beautiful, delicious jollof rice that I enjoyed. He was quite hospitable, played some nice movie for me to watch while I enjoyed it. We were just talking about everything about the school, his experiences, very casual, platonic discussion, which was really good. And when I was done eating and I'd spent like 1 hour, I think 1 hour, 1 hour plus, I can't remember the exact time. I felt okay, I was done with my visit. Maybe it was time to go back home. And then I told him, thank you so much for being hospitable and all of that. And I carried my bag and I was about to leave. And when I touched the door, he was like, not so fast. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I like, will you just come and go like that? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he gave me this look. And when gave me that look, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was just like trying to process what he meant, but I already knew what he meant. I'm like, no, I didn't have that in my plan for today. I just came to visit you. And I was like, you cannot go. Then he went and held the door. And he had this iron door, so obviously I couldn't open the door. So we're just stuck at the door. And I was like, assuming I was 18, like I was like, hey, my mother is going to kill me today. Who sent me a message? What am I doing here? Right? So I was like scared. I was scared. I was traumatized at that point. I was like in fear, in pain, in like so many thoughts were running through my head, like what is going to happen to me today. I was like, I did not come here for that. So I was trying to tell him that no, 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 I just came to visit. You're like, no, you came to visit me. So in his head that I had planned something, that's why I came to visit him. Like, no. So we're just arguing, 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 arguing. And in that moment, I got a call. Like, we're arguing, arguing, arguing. He just locked the door and took the keys away. So I was just stuck at the door there, and I was like thinking about my life, what's going to happen the next. Like, my life is about to be destroyed in 1 second because I made a silly mistake. But as God will have it, I got a call, and I got the call. I picked up the call, and I was talking. God bless the caller for that day. I don't know who you were. I can't remember who called me, but God bless the person who called me that day, because as I picked the call, and the call was getting long and long and long, and I think he just had everything of it. He just opened the door and asked me to go, and that was how I escaped. Now it's a funny story right now, but it wasn't funny that day. Like, I felt that my life was about to crumble in 1 second. It was terrible. It was traumatic. It was painful. It's not something that I wish for anybody. It was really terrible. So I'm sharing that so that I can share some crucial lessons that I learned from that very that very incident that happened that day, so that you can learn from it. Lesson number one: be self aware and knowledgeable. Every young woman out there, you have to be self aware, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to know what is happening. The Bible says, be wise as serpent and innocent as a dove. One of the reasons why I was trapped in that situation was because I was naive. Like, in my innocent mind, I am going to visit a guy and nothing would happen. Because I have not been told that you cannot go and visit a guy just like that. I didn't know. And I actually blamed myself, I blamed my parents, I blamed a lot of things when that happened to me. But right now, later on, I had to take responsibility, but I knew that I was not knowledgeable, I was not self aware. So, what are the lessons that I learned from that experience? Number one, young women have to be self aware and knowledgeable. I was not self aware. I didn't know what was happening around me. I did not know, I did not read body language. I didn't read his energy. I didn't read his vibe. I didn't read anything. I was so stupid. And that's what I would say. The Bible says that we have to be as innocent as a dove, but wise as a serpent. So it means that you have to be knowledgeable. For many years, I blamed my mom, I blamed my parents, I blamed people around me. I, but later on, I had to take responsibility for my action. But it was because I did not know that you cannot just go and visit a guy like that. So last year, I made a post on Instagram. I said, why did our good girls end up with bad boys? And my conclusion was that good girls end up with bad boys because good girls are naive. They don't know anything and they're not eager, they're not inquisitive to learn, to know what's happening. In short, back then, it wasn't like the information age that we have now, that we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have so many opportunities to learn and to be self-aware and knowledgeable about sexual education and everything. But I did not know anything. So, good girls, if you're a good girl, don't say he raped me, he raped me. Did you put yourself in that situation? I know there is a lot of debates, controversies about cause of rape. We should blame the rapist and not the victim, which I totally agree. But sometimes you put yourself in the position to be raped. If I had not gone to that house that day, I wouldn't have had that situation. But at the same time, I learned from that experience. So you have to be self aware, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to know what is happening, you have to guard yourself, guard your heart, guard your body, guard your mind, guard your environment. You have to just be aware, self-aware, knowledgeable. Like ask questions. If you have older siblings, older sisters, aunties, uncles, ask them questions. If you have any question bothering you, like be curious, ask questions and find out what is happening. I was not self-aware. I was not equipped with sexual education. I did not know how men behave, how boys behave, how girls behave. I did not know anything about myself. I was so stupid. That's what I would say. And that's why I went to visit a boy alone. And it helped me to so this takes me to the second point, which is set boundaries. So after that incident, I decided that I was gonna have boundaries. I would not visit any guy alone in school. And I'm so happy that this happened in my 100 level because I was like, never again. I would not put myself in this kind of situation. So I set boundaries around my life. I set rules around my life. I set clear boundaries and I was firm on what I wanted and where I would stand. So be firm about your boundaries. Be clear. Let your no be no and your yes be yes. Now, many girls, young women have also been raped by following their friends to events that they shouldn't have been. Now, if you know your values, if you know what you are passionate about, if you know where you're headed, you know your future goals, certain places will be out of your visit list. Now, maybe your friend was like, "Oh, let's just go to the club," and you follow them. Maybe somebody just put something in your drink, and before you know it, you're on somebody else's bed because you do not have firm boundaries. So it's important that you have firm boundaries. You define rules about around your life, and you are strict on, you know, adhering to those rules. You have to have boundaries. You cannot just allow anything and everything. You cannot just go to anywhere and any place just because you are idle. Just because you don't have a place to go does not mean you have to go and visit a friend, does not mean you have to go to a party, does not mean that you have to accept what you shouldn't accept. You have to be firm about your boundaries. That's the thing. So I learned, although I was firm on doing this, I told the guy no. I was very clear on like I did not plan for this. But then I had to also set a rule, like I said earlier. And did I keep to that rule? Maybe, maybe not. You're gonna find out in during the course of this video. Another lesson I learned is that it is important for parents to equip their daughters. And this is not only the responsibility of mothers, fathers, you have a responsibility as well. Be close to your children. If you have any niece around you as an aunt, please equip them with the right sexual education. Tell them experiences that you had during campus so that they can learn from it. So if you're going to school, make sure that you are doing this, make sure you are doing that. Sometimes it might come off as you just passing information and them not listening. But one day they'll remember, oh, Auntie this said this. Oh, this person said this. Oh, my mom used to tell me this. Oh, my dad used to tell me this. And that's one thing that I love about Just Us Girls Global series. And if you watch that Ife's friend had good sexual education from her mom. So she was well equipped on how to comport herself when she was on campus. But Ife did not know a dime. She didn't know anything. She was just in that curious teenagers age where she just wanted to find out things, and she was not equipped with the right information. That's why she fell for that trap. So please, if you have the opportunity, if you have any young girl around you, any person in your church, in your environment, please be open enough to share your personal experiences with them so that they can learn. Even if you don't want to share your direct personal experience, you can like tell them things that they need to be aware of, because many people don't know this. I didn't know this. I didn't know anything about men. I didn't know anything about sex. I didn't know anything about, like, I was so naive and innocent. And that's why I almost fell for that trap. But I thank God for saving me. Maybe it was the prayers of my mom or the prayers of people around me or my own prayers that saved me that day. If not, I would have been a victim of rape. So it is important that we equip our children, parents. And now, right now, we're in the information age that they can easily see things online. So you have to be very intentional about the things you tell your children so that they know they are equipped with the right knowledge. They wouldn't just ask anybody out there who could feed them with the wrong information, but they would know because you are the one telling them, and they'll be more confident to speak with you if they have any reason to. If they have any questions bothering them, they would be easy. It would be easy for them to just go, "Oh, mom, somebody said this." Someone said that. And your children these days, they ask a lot of questions. So you cannot afford not to start educating them from a very early age. I have decided that when I have a daughter, she will be my bestie, like right from a very age. I will not be so, I'll try to balance the use of carrot and stick. So carrot is how to draw her close, give her sweet things so she'll be more, comfortable sharing things with me. And stick is when I know I have to wear my parental crown to, educate her, to instruct her so that she would follow the right way. But I've decided that I'm going to be that open with my daughter so that she would learn and be comfortable speaking with me. The fourth lesson I would say is listen to the voice of God. I cannot imagine a life without the Holy Spirit. Although at that age, when I was at 18, I had not developed that strong relationship with God, but I was still trying to like build my relationship with God. So I would say that maybe I did not like have that personal relationship with God such that He could speak to me and I could respond. But over time, I built my relationship. In short, my universities were the time when I got so close to God that I began to build strong relationship with God. I started to speak in tongues. I was active in fellowship. I became a pastor at some point. So it was that time when I built strong relationship with God. And remember, I talked about, did I yield to my rule of not visiting any boy? No, I didn't. So in my final year, I was done with project. Oh no, I think it was during project. So I was doing my exams. So I was just running the analysis using the software. So I needed like support from a few friends and all of that. So I went to visit a guy. But at this point, I was fully self-aware, so I know what was happening. I know I was always prepared for the worst, or I could like tell. I know what to do part time. Like I could take care of myself at this point. So I went to visit a guy, and we just because of just on project matters, we did it together, and all of them. It was my colleague, and I finished up and I went, and then the visits started becoming frequent, like because we were working together based on something. We were not dating. I didn't have any feelings for him. Maybe he did for me, but I was, going there with the mind that we we're working. And one of the days, as we were like talking, talk was taking another form and all of that, and things were becoming a little bit awkward. And I heard a voice from God. He told me, if you do not leave here now, anything you see, you take. So I just carried my bag and I left. I knew it was God speaking to me. So yes, I broke my rule, but But of course, I didn't break the rule like throughout my year one, year two, year three. I was very serious and all of that. I tried to avoid all of that, but I still broke the rule. But in the midst of God was in the midst of that, God was merciful enough to, show up for me. He told me, live there now. So if you are attentive to God, if you have a relationship with God, God will tell you, don't go there, stop that, don't do that. He will give instructions, and with that you can prepare yourself, you can avoid situations like that. Finally, know that healing is a journey. It does not happen overnight. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Healing starts with forgiveness. Forgive yourself. I know the anger. If you've ever been a victim of rape or near rape like myself, I know you'll be angry, full of pain. You'll be so annoyed, wanting to, brutalize um your abuser if you can. But first of all, start with forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the mistake, for the situation, because it could be it could get to a point where you feel like you are the cause. You start blaming yourself, start blaming, like me, I was blaming myself. Why did I put myself in that situation? Why did I even go there? Why did I even think of it? How was I so stupid? But you have to forgive yourself and your past. Give yourself grace. Like, you are not perfect. You are human. And yes, you would make mistakes, but you have to forgive yourself. Know that your past does not define you. Your past does not define where you go, how far you go in life. Maybe you have a scar that comes from that experience, or near experience, if it was like my case. Or I want you to forgive yourself and forgive your abuser. If you want to take it up with the police, or seek help, just seek help, seek therapy, pray, go for counseling, because it can be really traumatic and it might take years for you to heal, and you might even take that into your future relationship, your marriage, and all of that. So if you're struggling with this at this point, please seek help. Go to a trusted counselor, a professional counsel, or pray, speak to God, ask God to heal you, ask God to help you. Forgive yourself, forgive your past. Listen, that sometimes you feel like, okay, if only I can turn back the hands of time to change what has happened in the past. I'm so sorry, you won't be able to change the past, but you can change the future. You can change how you believe and your perception about yourself and your future. So please heal. Healing is a journey, like I said, it will take time. But please forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself from the trauma that you face. Forgive your abuser. You know, believe that your past does not define you. You can make progress even with a terrible past. This story isn't just about what happened to me, it's about equipping others with courage, strength, and hope. And so I shared the story today to encourage you that you are more powerful than you think, that your past does not define you, that your past does not determine where you will go and how far you will go in life. I want you to rise up from every failure. If you've ever felt unsafe before, if you've ever had a traumatic experience, I want you to rise up and believe in yourself and push forward and learn from your lessons and equip others as well if you can, to make progress and to prosper. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.